Hey everybody, this is Dick Justice doing the video review for Transformers Generations Roadbuster. This Roadbuster brought to me courtesy of WK Toys. Once again, just wanted to thank them for being awesome. I think Roadbuster is still in stock there, so if you decide that you need to run out and buy Roadbuster tomorrow and want to have one sent to your door for a very reasonable price, WKToys.com. Great guys. Not so great Roadbuster. I'm having a hard time finding nice things to say about Roadbuster, actually. Here he is, all armored up with his guns. I guess we'll start with a size comparison, because Pokey. As you can see, Pokey's a little bit more orange than Roadbuster. And I don't have something pegged incorrectly. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. I don't know. And that gun falling off leads me to a great complaining point. These two guns are meant to go in the top of the truck here, but this hole does not grab this peg very well. This hole sort of, like, they do sort of okay on the other side, but like the pegs don't grab the holes or the holes don't grab the pegs as well as I would like, and some of the holes grab the pegs too well, and then I'm actually like worried that, like on this gun, that I'm gonna end up breaking off the post in the hole because it's so tight. I don't know if that's going to fix itself with use or what, but just something to keep in mind. Another thing is a lot of, I'm going to take the guns off, one for transformation and two for pointing out something. A lot of this is painted, like these entire panels are painted, and I'll start the transformation. The first thing you want to do is just unpeg the legs like that, and that gives access to the back of these legs. Like this all is painted. There's a defect in the paint here. It's the back of his legs, so I don't care too much. But like all of this is painted. The brown paint here is very poorly done. It's kind of spotty and blotchy and inconsistent, and the rest of it is pretty okay. Except they gave him light piping and then painted his eyes green, and that falls under one of my pet peeves of Transformers. That, and when the engineering interferes with itself. And when you have his chest down, his thighs are kind of, because of this armor here, are kind of not able to do that. Next thing you want to do on the transformation is take the feet and rotate them back. And then some people, and I think the box shows them like this, with the foot sticking out very front. You can actually slide that back down a little bit, and it doesn't look so awful. I mean, it's still an oddly proportioned foot. And the next thing you want to do is fold those wheels back. And if you're lucky, you can get them to balance. Roadbuster's actually the first toy I've had in a long time where I've had a problem with mold flash. Like, to this degree, there's a little nub on this tire here. His hand has some mold flash on it. To continue the transformation, unpeg his arms. There's these slots here that the arms peg into. Then you can get them out of the way. And then the bumper pieces go in. And that lets all of that peg together. And I just noticed this hole here, but I can't quite figure out what it's for. It's for a gun of some sort. I'm just not sure which one. And I didn't see it when I was looking in the instructions earlier. Anyway, then you want to rotate his arms around and back and then unpeg the elbows. And there is Roadbuster in robot mode. Size, here he is with Whirl, since they're compadres. I like Whirl a lot better, to be entirely honest. I didn't have high hopes for Roadbuster, and none of them were met or exceeded. So that's kind of like a slap in the face. Like, there's no wrist articulation. There's so many different guns, but the ports don't entirely work very well. You know, it's just... It could have used a little bit more work, I think, is the best way to put it. He can be armored up. These, all the guns get a spot and they can peg in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think there's anything on his back. There's not. There's these two. So, I mean, he can look absolutely ridiculous with like a gun pointing up at him on his leg or something. And then there's this hole here that I still have not figured out what it's for. That gun there, maybe? I don't know. And I actually am afraid of breaking at least one of these guns at some point because of the pegs and the holes and not working right. He does have a combined gun mode, much like Age of Extinction Hound, but I will say Hound does it better. So this gun, this gun, this gun, this gun, there's a slot up here that goes there. And this gun on the side. And they say this gun on top. Well, not gonna lie, that looks pretty stupid. I like to do it this way so that he has two guns. This big super gun and this gun here. He can hold the guns. Whatever. The ratchets on his elbow are kind of weird. This elbow is much looser than this elbow. It's a double jointed elbow. And the top is much looser than the bottom. So you end up getting some weird poses. The double jointed knee, same thing. The top is much looser than the bottom. It ends up kind of not working very well. And on his one shoulder, it's much harder to put it back down than it is to hold it up. This one doesn't cooperate unless it's all the way out. But otherwise, it's very fluid shoulder. This one, yeah. So I like the ratchet joints. I think Roadbusters could have been improved. And that's kind of where I'm at about this figure. I want to like it. I tried really hard to like it. It could have used a couple more weeks of design and testing to actually be a thing. And that's, like ugly ass truck mode aside, like I think that's the ugliest truck mode I've ever seen. I even like Beast Hunter's Bulkhead more. Yeah, ugly ass truck mode aside, I still would have liked to have seen something different on that truck mode. And the painting could have been done a little bit better, and the joints a little bit better, and the guns a little bit better. And like, very rarely do I get a toy and think the entire thing could have been done a little bit better, all in the details. Like, they put the light piping in the head and then painted his eyes. His eyes are painted green. Just little... This toy would have been made or lost in the details, and they lost in the details. So this is Dick Justice with Naked Fire Trucks saying, yeah.